Hello everyone, welcome to Durrett's Take. Let's get started. Please subscribe to my channel, tell everyone about me, and please leave comments in the section after this video. So the interesting stat of the day is that Giannis has scored at least 40 plus in both Game 2 and Game 3. And there's a bunch of, elite players, like a Kevin Durant and Kobe Bryant and stuff like that, who've only done that once ever in the finals, and they've been to so many finals. So what Giannis is doing so far is pretty impressive. I want to see though this holds up, because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, now Bucks are the women and all that." It's like, oh, let's just wait and see. Like, if the Bucks can win a game at Phoenix, okay, yeah, then the momentum's on their side. But until then, let's just calm down that. So with this time of year, with not a lot per se going on in the football basketball arena, I like to do different things. And you know how I love changing formats with different sports to improve it. That's kind of my thing. Well, I was talking with one of my former close friends and college roommate, and we talked about how the NBA playoffs can be improved. It's not terrible right now per se, but again, things can always be improved. Then I remember I actually gave a presentation on this very subject for one of my classes in college. You know, I forgot what it was called, some type of presentation class. Here is how the format should change, in my opinion. We see how the West is clearly better than the East. Obviously, the top heavy Brooklyn's a good team, and Milwaukee and stuff like that. Better than that, it's like, especially the middle pack and even below pack, the West is way better. It's been that way for a very long time. So the way to fix this is, instead of doing top 8 East, top 8 West, by making it a top 16 overall. Here is how the format would have looked this past season. Utah, best record in the NBA, they would have been number 1, and they would have faced 16 Boston, with who had a 36-36 record. Right there. I mean, the only team who made the playoffs out of losing record is Washington, but at least you took out a losing record team out. And while I'll give you that this series wouldn't be close, that's only because Kevin Walker was 100% and Jaylen Brown was out the whole time. If they're all both 100%, that would be more of an interesting series. And then they would face the winner of, actually, let's go in order from first, second, third, and so on. So the second seed would obviously be Phoenix, and they would face 15 seed Memphis. Now, I feel like Suns win this series, but this one would be very interesting, because as we saw with Memphis against Utah, they won a game, so I assumed they would win a game against Phoenix, but then they had 2 games, both in Memphis, that were very close, that were coming down right to the wire. So I feel like they can give Phoenix a couple of close games around for their money, make them go 6 games potentially. It wouldn't even surprise me to say them most likely 6 though. And make that interesting. Third seed is Philly. They would face 14th seed Golden State. Yes, please. Steph Curry, Joel Embiid. That'd be a pretty interesting series there. Especially since we saw Philly in their, bad management late in games. Like, that would have been pretty interesting to see. Now, Philly has a lot of defense, so they can throw a lot of different defensive bodies at Steph Curry to kind of try to shut him down, per se. But I feel like Steph Curry alone will get you a win against Philly. But I would predict this would go most likely 6 games, maybe even 7. I feel like that'd be a pretty interesting series there. Then you get the 4 seed Brooklyn Nets versus 13 seed Miami. This is one of the other ones, but like, I'll concede you there. This would be, a sweep most likely, since Miami got swept by Milwaukee. Like, this wouldn't be close at all. Then the winner of Brooklyn and Miami would face 5 seed Denver versus 12 seed Atlanta. Interesting. You know how March Madness, there's a lot of 12 seeds that can get an upset against a 5 seed. Well, this is another case scenario here where that could happen. And in my predictions, I would actually have Atlanta getting the upset against Denver, because of what I've seen from Trae Young throughout the playoffs, and the way Atlanta's rolling versus Denver, where they don't have Jamal Murray. Like, they can only do so much. And that would go 6 games most likely, if not 7. But I think it would go 6. There would be pretty interesting. And then the winner of that Philly Golden State series to play 6 seed Clippers versus 11 seed New York Knicks. Okay, this is the last. Okay, I'll give you automatic win there. Knicks don't have off. Would not. Knicks would probably get swept by the Clippers, but I mean, market value wise, that'd be entertaining. But yeah, not basketball talent wise entertaining there. And then the 2 seed Phoenix Suns would face either the winner of 7 Milwaukee versus 10 LA Lakers. Milwaukee and Lakers first round series. Sign me up, folks. That's pretty good. A lot of people thought they could have potentially been the finals this year. Finals matchup this year if the Lakers would have stayed healthy. So that's pretty good right there. I think that would go at a full 7-game series there. Now this one's kind of interesting. So because there's some injuries that you can kind of predict or foreshadow or guess will happen no matter what, and then there's some that freak accidents that kind of depend on the situation. Like for example, Donovan Mitchell. He basically was trying to dribble away and then hit Paul George's ankle type of or knee type of thing that basically re-injured his bad ankle. I feel like if the Jazz weren't playing the Clippers in the second round, they were playing the Mavericks or something, I feel like that injury could have been avoided. But then there's some injuries. For example, James Harden, I feel like the hamstring was going to go out no matter who they played in the next round. So therefore, you can kind of account for his injury. And so same here with AD. I feel like whether it was Milwaukee or Suns, which they end up playing, I feel like AD would have got hurt his groin either way, especially since his groin was already hurting towards the end of the regular season. It was basically re-aggravating of it. So because of that, I picked Milwaukee. But if the Lakers were healthy, I picked the Lakers for the upset. But since that was the case, Milwaukee wins there. And then Utah would face the winner of either 8 seed Dallas, 9 seed Portland. Sign me up for that. If Luka can go off against the Clippers with their defensive prowess, imagine what Luka could do against the Blazers in a playoff series. And even since the Mavs defense is kind of horrible, imagine what Damian Lillard would do against them. Like that'd be an entertaining series. So I feel like that would go. I feel like that would go 6 games and be very entertaining, high scoring affairs. So I would have Dallas winning that one. So again, besides the Jazz, Clippers, and Nets, all the rest of the series, no matter who wins, would be fun, entertaining, and awesome. And so then you can go on to the next round. So Utah, Dallas. Again, this would be an entertaining series. I would take Jazz in 6, mainly because Mavericks don't have the defensive prowess to stop Utah. Now, again, Mike Conley would be hurt because I feel like since Mike Conley, I feel like he was going to re-aggravate that hamstring no matter who they faced in the first round, because this is the 3rd time he re-aggravated throughout the regular season. So again, one of those things where you can just kind of tell that's most likely going to happen. So I'm going to take into account that Mike Conley's 90% throughout the rest of the playoffs here. But again, I think Donovan Mitchell would be 100% this time, unlike versus Clippers series. Therefore, Utah will win 6. But again, be interesting, high scoring, fun game. Phoenix versus Milwaukee. That's what we're going to see right now in the finals, and that's the second round matchup here. That's pretty good, and I feel like again, I predict Phoenix win, but nevertheless, I mean we've seen some interesting stuff so far, so I feel like it could be an interesting series. And then 76ers versus Clippers. That's pretty awesome right there. Now that's a very defensive kind of grind out thing. So I feel like that would probably go 6 games with the Clippers winning again, mainly. And also, what's interesting about that series is that both teams are bad late game situation wise. So that'd be kind of interesting to see. Okay, well, who's worse in late game situations? Clippers were technically worse, but I mean, because of Ben Simmons free throws, we would see which one happened there. Especially with Doc Rivers coaching against his former assistant team in the Clippers, that'd be kind of fun there. And then Brooklyn, Atlanta. Now you may say, okay, yeah, sweep. No, that's not the case here. Brooklyn will win the series, but again, you got to remember James Harden will not be 100% this series and miss a couple games. Now, Kyrie Irving, I don't feel like will have that freak extension. I feel like he'll be 100% playing throughout this whole series. So that's why I think Brooklyn, wins. But I feel like this can go 6 games. This could be interesting. Atlanta is that type of team. They can make it entertaining. So that'd be a fun. So all 4 of these series will be pretty interesting. Not one just like automatic, yeah, sweep or yeah, gentleman sweep. I don't think that here. And then you'd go 1 Utah versus 4 Brooklyn in the semifinals. That's a good finals match right there. A little semifinals matchup. That's pretty good. Now, because Mike Conley wouldn't be 100% through the series, I felt like at this point he'd be playing because he played Game 6 against Clippers, but he wouldn't be 100% at this point. Neither would James Harden, but obviously James Harden is, better than Conley. So I feel like, and with the other pieces that the Nets have, because Donovan Mitchell doesn't really have anyone like Kyrie does for KD. So I feel like Brooklyn will win this 6, but nevertheless be interesting. Find a lot of 3-pointers here and be a very entertaining series. And then Phoenix Clippers, we already saw what happened. That was an interesting series. Went 6 games, um, and with this, and at this point, I feel like because again that Kawhi was a freak accident injury. I mean, yeah, he's had knee problems in the past. Don't get me wrong, but nothing that was serious this season per se, or that's something that's been re-aggravating all season for him. So I feel like in this case, he wouldn't have run the joint ankles, therefore that accident would have been avoided. So therefore, I feel like Kawhi would be playing the series, and because Kawhi is playing the series, I would actually take Clippers here for the upset. But no, let's not be an interesting series. So then you get Clippers Nets matchup, which I was which I feel like is a good finals matchup there. And because I think Ty Lue is a better coach, they have more depth in the Nets. I feel like the Clippers will win here. But again, it'd be interesting. Go 6-7 games here. It'd be a fun series there. And then also with this format, you can still have the play-in tournament for the last 2 spots, or even 4 spots to get in. Because I do think the play-in tournament showed this past season, it does have some value. We saw it when Memphis upset Golden State. So whether the champion remains the same or not, in this case it's not, you can see how this would be a fascinating route. Now you may think, oh, that's too much traveling to East-West Coast for multiple series. That's a bunch of baloney. You're doing back-to-backs in the regular season. So I don't want to hear this crap of, oh, it's just too much traveling. It's like, no, it's not too much traveling. It's just fine, especially since you get at least 2 days off. Even sometimes 3 days off in between games. Like, you'll be just fine. Traveling is not a concern. Whether you fly 2 hours or 4 hours, it's still the same thing. Now go ahead and try to find another flaw in this plan. You can. It's a good plan. So I think they should consider. So now real quick before I sign off, I want to talk about the USA basketball team and their 2 exhibition games so far, what's been happening there. There's a couple reasons why they're struggling right now. One, Booker, Middleton, Holiday are playing the finals right now. I feel like when those 3 join on, they will be contributors. Now, I don't expect them to be, elite level contributors because I think all 3 of them will be tired. They just got done playing the finals. They're going to have tired legs. So I'm not going to rely on Booker, to score 20 points for us, or Middleton to score 20 points for us. I'm not going to rely on that per se. But again, more depth and more scoring options there. And Holiday, we could use this defense there. But then also, another problem that the USA has is that they don't have a good big man. They don't have that Joel Embiid or Nikola Jokic or something like that. They don't, or the Greek Freak. They don't have a good big man. So therefore, when they face a good-sized team like they did Nigeria, they're going to get out-rebounded, out-punked. And then also another issue, again, it's just team chemistry the guy gets to learn with another versus all the other foreign countries where they kind of have more of a cohesiveness factor. And then one more factor that's not getting talked about enough. This is kind of what I was saying back with my thoughts on what San Antonio should do. I think Greg Popovich should just retire. He's not that good of a coach anymore. I'm sorry to say. I know he's one of the greatest of all time, but he's just not that good of a coach anymore. He's kind of like, Mike McCarthy, where he in the NFL, where he was good for a while, even won that Super Bowl, was good, and all of a sudden, players started tuning him out, didn't want him anymore, and kind of, was gone and fired from Green Bay, and that was with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. So that's why I'm saying I feel like Greg Popovich should just be trying. I feel like if they lose, he'll basically be done coaching USA. And next time there's an Olympic or a World Cup or whatever, they're going to find someone else, whether Steve Kerr, or I feel like you can even go Quentin Snyder from Utah. He's a young, innovative offensive-minded head coach, more on the younger side there. Or you can go, if you want to go college ranks, since Coach K tried, you can go Mark Few from Gonzaga. There's plenty of different routes you can go there. But I feel like if we don't win gold, mainly, roster construction, but then also Greg Popovich will be the reason why, believe it or not. So thank you very much for listening to my podcast today. You all have a wonderful day.